everybody, thanks for joining us. We're so happy that you tuned in. Today we're going to be learning a lot about Pensacola Habitat for Humanity and the work that we do in the community. My name is Crystal Scott and I'm the Director of Resource Development, and we have a couple of fascinating guests today. We have Chris Allen, who is actually one of our new homeowners, and joining us later in the show we will talk to Miss Kristen O'Brien, who is our Senior Communications Associate. Just chatting a little bit about Pensacola Habitat, the work that we do in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. So Chris, when did you and your family actually close on your home? And tell us a little bit about the makeup of your family.
We closed the end of August of 2019.
Exciting.
Very exciting, yes. It's just myself, and I have 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. So
busy?
Definitely busy, yes ma'am, for sure. And my 2 oldest are 21 and 15, so they were very hands-on in the program as well, helped with a lot of hours in construction, so they're very familiar with what we went through to get approved and get the home. So,
and what was that journey like as far as you know, the application process and working through the program? For people who aren't familiar with our program, so part of Habitat's program is we require sweat equity hours of the person who is purchasing the home. And so tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, the application process was fairly easy. That's back when Habitat did paper applications. It's a lot more streamlined now, I've heard. The help and ease with getting the information that you need was really great as far as you know, what documents are required. I think for me it really became real, of course when you get that approval letter, but it became real for me when I first started doing my hours, because you build these relationships with so many different types of people. I did a lot of my hours in the office, so I got to know a lot of you, whether it was, you know, opening mail, shredding papers, anything like that. The biggest amount of people I met was doing the sweat equity out on the job sites. You meet other homeowners. You become kind of like this unified family. You don't realize it at first. You get to know about them and how they got into the program, what brought them to Habitat. Your kids get to know their kids, and you're going to birthday parties.
And I love that story that you tell about, you know, building alongside other people who were going through the program and going to birthday parties and things like that. And I think that that really brings home Habitat's mission. Pensacola Habitat's mission is building homes, communities, and hope. So that to me points directly to community and hope. So how has this affordable home ownership opportunity affected you, and did you ever think that anything like this would be possible for you and your family?
No, I actually did not. I had heard a lot about Habitat, and most of the things you hear are not the case. I actually was driving down the road and saw an open house sign for Habitat. I went, had a great you know, view of the model home, and I asked a lot of questions, and from there I decided you know, to apply. So as far as how it affected me, I would say as a parent you want to provide stability for your children. There were things that had happened in my life prior that year that left me the sole provider, so it was taken that leap of faith, and I didn't think that I would qualify because, you know, people out there say you have to be a single mom, or, you know, you have to be very, very low income, and it's not the correct information out there.
It is not the case. It is not the case for sure. And I tell everybody all of the time, you know, you think you know Habitat, really think again as far as what we're building, the quality of our homes. Our homes are absolutely gorgeous. So we'll go into that a little bit more. But I wanted to ask you about building alongside some of the donors and some of the neighbors, your future neighbors, and tell us a little bit about that experience.
So when I was on my site, St. Anne's Catholic Church sponsored mine, and Miss Beverly was an amazing woman, put it all together. She had tremendous amount of volunteers from her church, great people. They actually brought some of their children who were able to meet my children who started school together. So that was a win-win there. Very spiritual, just so many amazing people. I remember we were standing on the side of the framing of the house, and the crew leaders pray first and go over safety rules. And this couple was riding their beach cruisers around the neighborhood, and they stopped and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so amazing, and how can we help?" And I remember everyone's looking around and they're like, "Well, you just put on a hard hat," and they're like, "Can we come back tomorrow?" They just were riding by, taking advantage of a beautiful day, and that very next morning they were there bright and early, just hammering away.
And that to me is the perfect example, again, of that community aspect of our mission, building homes, communities, and hope. Before we go to a commercial, I want you to kind of describe when you came in and were choosing all of the options and things for your house. Describe that meeting.
Oh, excitement. Total excitement. The choices are amazing. You get to match your flooring with your countertops and your cabinets, and it was really great. My favorite part, I think, was the outside of the home. I got to choose, of course, your floor plan, but you get to pick your color scheme, if you want traditional shutters or the colonial look. So it was so much excitement.
Awesome. Well, we are going to take a quick break. I did want to mention the model home that is currently on E Street, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but we will be right back, so stick with us.
What are you doing here? But the Pensacola Food Truck Festival isn't until April 3rd and 4th.
Since 1981, we've built more than 1,300 homes in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. Love built this home, and love keeps it. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. We are here learning a lot about Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, and I am super excited to introduce our next guest. I have with me Miss Kristen O'Brien. She is our Senior Communications Associate at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. Kristen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. We got a lot of exciting things happening in our world. And I want to talk a little bit about the growth that Pensacola Habitat has been experiencing. I know that we are receiving crazy numbers of applications. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we launched our online application program that's been a little bit over a year ago. And within that year, we've actually received over 1,000 applications, which is a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
And so that's been really successful, and we've been able to reach out and connect more to more individuals that are needing help in our community. And in that, we actually have in the pipeline or in the program, we have 65 different families, which is way more than we were planning on having at this point. But that's so great because that means that there are families that are able to understand a little bit more about how our program works, and they're able to begin those steps towards affordable home ownership, which is so important for not only what we do, but our community and our growth in our community.
For sure. And you know, like when we talk about those numbers, 1,050 applications last year, you know, that really justifies what we're doing. Not only serving Escambia and Santa Rosa County, but it justifies the need. The need is certainly there. So super exciting time for Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. A little factoid about Pensacola Habitat is that we are consistently in the top 40 of the over 1,200 affiliates in the United States. So a lot of people don't realize the capacity that we have to serve, and so we are extremely fortunate to be in the situation that we're in. And I want to talk a little bit about the Fund for Humanity. So currently we service about 940 mortgages.
Correct.
And so that's what we call the Fund for Humanity.
Right.
And that's the 940 people that we have in our program. We service their mortgages, they pay their mortgage payment, their money comes in monthly, and that's how we're able to build the next house. But tell us about some other ways in which we fund all of our projects.
And we do have quite a few projects that we do, but we also do individual donations, whether that is people that purchase ornaments during Christmas time, or they just writing a check, or the square foot club that we have. We also have our sponsorships that we do annually for our annual events, which are golf tournament, food truck festival, Women Build. Those are really important. They're big fundraisers that we do throughout the year. And then we also do corporate builds, which are actually kind of unique all in and of themselves, because not only is it a fundraising opportunity for us, but it's also where corporations can come in and actually do that team building experience. And a lot of corporations do that because instead of doing a team building exercise that's like going out to dinner or something like that, their company is able to come out, put their hands on something, and work together to build something, which is not easy. But it's a lot of fun, and it's something that you learn you can do that you didn't think you could do, and you learn how to talk to each other and communicate to each other, because you have to talk to each other to build a house. You can't, you know, assign jobs.
And what an impactful experience it is for these corporate builds, especially in any build in general. Just we're always looking for volunteers to come out, but if you're coming out there with your coworkers and you are getting out there, you're sweating, you are going to be sore the next day, but you showed up this morning and there was a concrete slab, and you left and there were walls and trusses. How awesome is that to experience that with your coworkers?
Right.
So I would definitely encourage that. And all of these opportunities are actually available on our website. You can visit that at PensacolaHabitat.org. You are more than welcome to call our office. That number is 434-5456. And we'll mention that again at the end of this segment. But talk a little bit about the Restore.
I was just about to go there. And the Restore is another huge revenue for us, because everything that is donated from the community, we turn back and we sell it to the community. And 100% of the profits from what we receive goes right back into our main mission, which is building homes, communities, and hope. And so it's just another really great revenue source, but it's also another contact for us in the community, which is so important to what we do and everything that we do. We really want to continue to have that contact with the community. So that is actually, we need donations, obviously, because we need more donations to be able to sell more things. But we also need volunteers to help with processing those donations, or helping clean the shelves, or doing the customer service that we need. So that's a huge ask for the community that we couldn't do without that support.
And I know that land has been an issue. I'll briefly mention that. You know, we're always looking for additional land because they're not making any more of it, and we need to build so many more houses. So I want to lead back into, so that we have enough time to talk about our annual events that we do, and how, as a viewer, are they able to assist with that? Are there volunteer opportunities? Are there sponsorship opportunities? What does that look like?
There's both. So for Women Build, you can actually volunteer as a team or as an individual, and you fundraise for about 4 to 5 months. And then usually around October-ish time, we will actually go and build on the home. And you build with your team or with other women that have, or men, individuals that have been a part of Women Build, which is a really fun experience. And you get to know the home builder, the home buyer, and that's a lot of fun. And then you also have your food truck festival, and that takes a lot. Last year we had 35 food trucks, about 15,000 people that came from, that's crazy.
And talk about a marketing opportunity for some large and small businesses. So.
And we hope to continue to grow that each and every year, because while that does help us raise some money, the main focus of that event is to focus in on the community and highlight how great of a community Pensacola really truly is. And so that takes a lot of sponsorship, and we have different sponsorship levels that really can fit any type of need or budget. We also have in-kind sponsorships available for that. Same thing with golf tournament. That's usually about 140 golfers that participate in that.
So lots of different opportunities, whether you are a large or small business. Lots of information was just kind of spurted out to you. But I think that the wrap up with that is that there's an opportunity for everyone to become involved, and there's nothing more important than calling a place a home, and we think that everybody in our community deserves that. So thank you, Kristen, and you're going to be back with us in just a few minutes, so stick around.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for coming back. We are wrapping up here about Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. We really appreciate you sticking around. We hope you've learned a lot. So I really want to just bring it back together. We heard from Chris about her family, and bottom line is Pensacola Habitat is changing people's lives. We talked about some ways that you can get involved. And so we kind of just want to highlight a couple of things that we've talked about. And for you, Chris, I guess what would you say about your opportunity? You've been given a hand up, not a handout. What has this experience done for you and your family?
It's given me a very calm, settling peace of mind that I have provided. Probably the best type of stability you can give children. And when we come from a small apartment, so I never now have, or I don't have to worry about a lease renewal, rent increase, you know, different things like that. So peace of mind.
And how amazing is it for you when you come in to pay your mortgage payment, knowing about that fund for humanity, and knowing that your mortgage payment is being contributed into that fund that's building the next home for the next family? What is that experience like?
It's actually pretty great because I know exactly what that family had to do to get that hand up, and I'm there's no doubt in my mind that they don't appreciate it just as much as I do. It's the same feeling that I feel when I pull up in that driveway every day and I think, I put that window in. You know, that's a great feeling.
And so many times we hear, Kristen, about the families and the volunteers that work on the sites. You know, it's a constant reminder as you're driving around town, you know, like, hey, I built on that house, or, you know, I know that family that moved in there. Can you share maybe one story of a volunteer or something that...
Yeah. So actually, this past Women Build was actually my first Women Build being a part of it. And one of our women builders who has participated almost the whole, I think every year, she was talking about how when she would go down the street and go down through the community and they would point out like, oh my goodness, that's one of the houses I built, and there are kids' toys out there, and there's kids playing in the front yard, or there's, you know, a car, and you know, you can see that there's flowers and plants, and you can see that somebody's living there, and that's so impactful because they know that somewhere in that house on a stud is their name from where they worked on that house, and that's always going to be a part of the community and always going to be a part of that family's life.
Amazing. And so with those sponsorship opportunities and things that we have described in this segment, it's so important for our community to realize the impact of homeownership, not only on the families that we're serving, but the impact of the entire community. You know, you think about it, and you are providing that stability for your child's teacher. You're providing stability for your nurse at your doctor's office, for the first responder who is coming to possibly save your life. These are the kinds of people whose lives we are changing together. And so knowing that, I know that just gave me chills, and I didn't even anticipate that, but there that was. So, Chris, what would you say to someone who may be on the fence about either donating, whether it's time or volunteering or a monetary donation? What would you say to someone?
First, I would say that Pensacola Habitat is definitely Pensacola's best kept secret. I think that if you have any hesitation or any questions about participating in any way, you should definitely research, volunteer. You know, you guys, huge part of the community, and attend an event. Go to the model home, anything, you know, you see a Habitat sign, ask a question, you know. So I would definitely just ask.
There's a lot of signs out there, yes, aren't there? I want to plug our model home, or do you want to plug the model home?
Well, sure. We actually have our model home. It's at 307 Northeast Street, and it is open every Tuesday and Thursday and the last Saturday of the month. And you can come in and tour one of our homes. It's Ms. D. Henderson actually did a great job with decorating the house for us. So if you can't come during the hours we are open, you can always call the office and make an appointment. We will be more than happy to come out there and show it to you. We love showing it off. We're very proud of what we do for the community.
And this model home that she's referring to actually won the Parade of Homes in 2019. And so I'll say it again, if you think you know Habitat, really think again, because we are building gorgeous homes. We are, again, changing lives. So any final thoughts from you, Kristen? I know that's like an open-ended question. We could be here a while.
No, well, and I will just say, for me, I've been a part of the Pensacola Habitat family for 7 months now, and the amount of information and the amount of involvement that I've gotten into in 7 months has been a lot. It's a lot of information, and I knew very little about what Pensacola Habitat was when I came in, and getting involved, and like Chris said, just digging in and seeing what we do and being a part of it is so impactful for not only the community but for yourself, because you learn and appreciate things in a very different way. So if you are looking for that kind of connection, if you are looking for a way to give back to the community, but you don't have a lot of time, or you don't have a lot of money, or you have limitations or whatever, we can work with you. We need you. We need every bit of anything that you can offer. And even if it's something that you think that you don't have the ability, a talent that you think we couldn't use, call us, because I bet you we probably can. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to say that we really have an opportunity for everyone, regardless of your skill set, regardless of, you know, your creative. We have to get creative because, again, we need you. And so I do appreciate you tuning in. I hope that you've learned something. And I will say again, PensacolaHabitat.org. All of this information is available there. Feel free to call us, 850-434-5456, and we hope to see you soon.
What are you doing here? But the Pensacola Food Truck Festival isn't until April 3rd and 4th.
Since 1981, we've built more than 1,300 homes in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. Love built this home, and love keeps it. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.